Well, that was a battle and a half. Newcastle United have just beaten Birmingham 3-2 away from home to advance in the FA Cup in what was a game that it stunk of an upset. Brilliant performance from the boys, showing great personality, great characteristics, and I think Birmingham looked better than a League One side. Absolutely. They at times caused us a lot of troubles. Leading up to this game, Newcastle United, only behind Everton, have been knocked out more times than anybody else by a lower league side in the FA Cup. So this game stunk of an upset. It was a proper FA Cup game under the lights. It was a cold, misty night, and it was a battle, an absolute battle, a bloodbath out there. I'm surprised nobody got injured and there wasn't a red card. That's probably the only thing the game was lacking. It was fiery, aggressive, physical. It reminded us of a game of the early 2000s, especially when Birmingham were in the Premier League at the time. And Birmingham got off to the perfect start, scoring from a corner just 40 seconds into the game, and I was sitting there thinking, this is going to be a tough night. This is going to be a long night. This is going to be a tough night. I feel for the boys out there because it was a cold night. It was just frosty. It was one of those games where you're watching it on TV and you're thinking an upset. An absolute upset. The boys showed great resilience to turn that game round and be 2-1 up after 30 minutes or something. Callum Wilson doing what Callum Wilson does best, being the quickest to react inside that box. This is what you want from Callum Wilson. Somebody that has that sharpness, that instinctiveness inside the penalty area, and that showed. So Newcastle went 2-1 up, but Birmingham caused us a lot of problems. They really did, and I've said this before. Birmingham are a championship side playing in League One. I think that showed on the night. They were aggressive, they were pressing well, they were moving the ball well, they were just making themselves difficult, a nuisance to break down and beat. And then they scored the goal of the night to make it 2-2. Birmingham scored an absolute belter. I think the crossbar and the net are still shaking. And what a strike that was to put Birmingham 2-2, level with Newcastle United. And this wasn't a game of beautiful football. This was a game of ruggedness, fightness, battles, and I honestly believe it was work rate that got us out with that little bit of quality on top. Newcastle grew into that game, and I think the character, the personality the players showed on the pitch was very satisfying, because these players don't get regular game time. So when they come onto the pitch, they need to show that hunger, that desire, that they are part of the squad. And that's exactly what we're seeing. That's a testament, Eddie, how to motivate these players to show exactly that. I think from minute one, we knew what type of game it was going to be. Birmingham City were going to make themselves difficult to beat, and that's exactly what they were. They were sharp in the challenges, being aggressive, they were being direct when they had possession, getting Newcastle turning facing their own goal, and that's what you need to do as a lower league side, right? But we matched that, and that's what I was most impressed about from Newcastle United. If we didn't match their intensity or their ambition or their desire and hunger, we would have lost that game. I kind of feel like Newcastle United 2 or 3, maybe 5 years ago would have lost that game. That was the type of game that we would have thrown away, but not this one. We're getting much more resilient, and that's the beautiful thing about Newcastle United right now. But they definitely had players that could punish us on any other day. That Stansfield that plays up front for them kind of reminds us of Jamie Vardy. Somebody just with shithousery buzzing around the pitch, looking at just being a nuisance, and that's exactly what he was doing. I think he is, again, a championship player, maybe higher a level, playing at a League One side, and this is why Birmingham have been absolutely cruising their league, because they're the best team in it, and they're far better than some of the championship sides I've seen this season. So it was always going to be a difficult game. But there was a few players that I do want to speak about. And first of all, William Osula. I thought he was excellent today. Excellent. He was direct. He was creative. He had good movement. He worked hard off the ball. And if you look at his profile, it's everything you want in this modern day's football. He's big, physical, he's pace, he's got explosive power, he's strong. He's got all the ingredients to be a very dangerous player. And it was good to see him playing on the right wing. So if Jacob Murphy does get injured or anything does happen to Jacob Murphy, we've got Osula. If he can step in, if he continues to play like this, yes, there's some polishing that needs to be done. Yes, there's some coaching that needs to be done. But if we can spend a little bit of time with him, working on his weaknesses and giving him better understanding of the game. There's a player in there, absolutely, because the potential is evident. I just loved his attitude today, because in a game like that, when you're young, you haven't had much game time in the senior squad, you can go hiding in a game like that. But he didn't. He absolutely stood out. He wanted to win the game. He was direct. He was aggressive. He was pressing well. He was working hard off the ball. He had that bit of quality in the cutting edge in possession as well. Thought it was a terrific performance from him, and a performance that he needed, because this is just going to boost his confidence. And with confidence comes more game time. With more game time comes more experience. And it's just a knock-on effect. So I'm really happy for the boy, because there's definitely a player in there, especially with his physique, his profile. And I think he's somebody that's going to hit the heights at a later age, maybe 24, 25, like an Alexander Isak. I'm not saying he's the same type of player, but just starting to shine at that age. So maybe we can spend the next couple of years or so just working on his weaknesses, and then he's just going to get better. But I thought from Callum Wilson as well, showed great attitude. He was getting stuck in, wasn't really offering much in the game, but what you want from your striker is to make it count where it really matters. And that was how he took his chance, his sharp reactions in the box, and his willingness to score goals. Callum Wilson is the type of forward that doesn't care what type of goal he scores. He just wants to get in that dangerous area. If it comes off his shoulder, it comes off his shoulder. If it comes off his nose, it comes off his nose. He doesn't really care unless he's hitting the back of the net. You need these sorts of players in your squad for moments like this, because they will play the moments throughout the season. And Callum Wilson, it's good to speak about Callum Wilson scoring goals rather than how long he's going to be injured for. So it was great to see him back on the pitch. And then finally, I want to speak about my man of the match. I think it's quite unlucky that Osula didn't get it, but I just thought Joe Willock just brought everything. He was the cog of everything today. He had excellent off-ball movement, and that's what he's traditionally good at. He caused Birmingham all sorts of problems. He took his 2 goals brilliantly. He was really positive, bright in possession. He was direct. He was showing great personality when he received the ball. He had a key eye for a pass, and he had a desire to score goals. That is everything you want from your wide forwards or your centre forwards. Somebody with him that had that attitude that he wanted to make a difference today. And I've been giving Joe Willock his criticism recently because he hasn't really been getting involved in games, but we couldn't generate any rhythm today. But because of players like Joe Willock making a difference, that's how we won the game. There's a couple of other players I want to touch upon. I thought Lewis Miley did okay alongside Bruno in the middle, but I think Sean Longstaff showed his qualities today. I think, for me, I don't think he's a bad player. I really don't, but I think if Newcastle United want to be ambitious, really achieve UEFA Champions League and be competing at the very top, we need better squad depth than a player like Sean Longstaff. I'm not trying to hate on the guy because he comes across a really nice guy and he's actually got good talent. But if we want to make that next step, these are the players that we need to be replacing, and he will offer a lot towards PSR as well because he came through the academy. So somebody like him is somebody that we should be looking to replace with better quality. And it's harsh because I don't want to sound like a dick. I really don't, because he's done a job for it. But I think even when he receives possession, he slows down the tempo. He's not very good off the ball. He lacks that awareness. And I just think little things like this will make a massive difference. And it's not just to sit here and have a go at Sean Longstaff, because I feel the same with Kraft and Matty Target. But because we played those 3, we're away at Birmingham where it stunk of an upset. Getting a win is actually really admirable. It was one of those games where you just want to turn up, win the game, and get the hell out of there. Just literally one of those types of games where you can just move on from it. Nobody get injured. And that's probably the best thing about the night. Nobody got injured, because as soon as the first 5 minutes, I thought somebody's going to get really hurt here. The referee didn't really get a hold of the game, and I thought, I know everybody wants to see this sort of aggression, these tackles coming back into the game, but it is quite dangerous if we're really thinking about it. And with the cup final coming up and trying to achieve top 5, Newcastle United cannot afford any more injuries. But look, I want to hear your thoughts. I could go on and on about the game, but I just think it's exactly what I wanted from the game, this video. Just nice, short, sweet. Go in there, get the job done, get out into the next round. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's Man City away next in the Premier League. And if it's the Man City I've been watching recently and they've got Real Madrid midweek, I'm actually quietly confident. But let me know in the comments below your thoughts about that game at Birmingham. I'm just happy nobody got injured. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. Away the lads.